Another me. I had absolutely no intentions of seeing this movie until I found out that it was Sophie Turner that was in it. Of course, Sansa from Game of Thrones. And everyone really loves her, and I see why. She's so great to look at on screen. She has a presence, and I think she's learned a lot from her work in Game of Thrones. And I'm really excited to see what she does on next season. And I think it really showed in this movie. She was fantastic, and this isn't one of those movies that I'm usually interested in because it seemed very silly at first. She has someone following her. Oh, and it's her shadow that wants to take over her life. And I'm usually not interested in movies like this. It looked a bit spooky, a bit slasher like, and I don't watch scary movies not because I get scared, but because I don't get scared. And this didn't scare me either. I don't think that it wanted to, which I appreciate. There weren't any jump scares or anything like that. There were some creepy images though, which I really appreciated, but it's not a horror movie. It's more of a thriller. And I think that's one of the reasons why I liked it so much. If it had been trying to be a horror movie, I think I would have disliked it a lot. Um, and yeah, the story really, it was very predictable. I knew what was happening right away. What that shadow was, and there was no mystery behind it. I don't know if they intended it to be that way, but it felt very predictable, and I knew what was happening right away. And the big twist and the reveal was just nothing. So I think that what they wanted to do was not so much surprise you with twists and turns, but more invest you in the characters, which they succeeded because I was really invested in the characters. And one of my favorite parts of this movie were actually the relationship, all the relationships between um, Sophie's character and her parents, and the mom and the dad were very interesting, and the dad broke my heart, and her relationship with her friends at school and the boy she likes and the mean girl that she hates and all that. And I think those relationships were really, really well done and they were very realistic because it's exactly how at that age you talk to your parents and that's exactly how you interact with your friends. And even though they're your best friends, sometimes they will make fun of you in public. And the boy that she likes, that relationship was the best to me because usually in movies like this, it's so stupid and so corny and so just badly made. But in this one, it was so realistic. It made me feel 14 again when you like someone. And, he tells you that he's going to walk you home and you jump on the inside, but then you play it cool on the outside. Everything was just done so well, and their dialogue was um, they didn't have a lot of dialogue, which is great because it's awkward. You're supposed to feel a little awkward. The dialogue that they had was realistic as well, and just that whole relationship with her and the guy and how they get together was fantastic because usually movies get it completely wrong. When it's teenagers as main characters, movies get it completely wrong because they're written by middle-aged men who were teenagers, 20 years ago, and or 30 years ago, or whatever, and they don't get it now. So it comes off very fake. But this one was very, very realistic, and I loved it. And yeah, Sophie Turner was great, and everything about it really surprised me. I was into it. It felt like it wasn't long. I think it was about an hour and 30, an hour and 40. Um, but it felt longer, which is good. It felt like it had substance. And I just love how realistic it was because even though the story isn't and supernatural things are happening, the characters and their relationships are realistic, and that's one of the many reasons why I love Stephen King, for example, because he writes crazy stories, but then he writes real characters in situations that are difficult. So I think that's why I enjoy this movie so much. The characters really made it for me. And all the locations were really creepy. The imagery was creepy. I don't remember necessarily if the music was good. I don't think that it made an impact on me, which I wish this movie had a better score. I think it would have elevated things a bit more. But I guess that's my only complaint. And the story was too predictable. That's one of the things that I would have liked them to keep a secret. Um, because it's okay in horror movies if you know everything as long as you're scared. But in thrillers, I think it's better if you don't know anything until the end. It would have been way more, I guess, it would have made an impact to find out what happened in the end. But I love the ending, by the way, I won't spoil it. But the ending was everything that it needed to be. And I really, really enjoyed it. And that's it, I guess. The best parts are the acting, the writing, actually the dialogue, and the relationships between the characters. Not necessarily the explanation for what's happening, because that was way too predictable, and I think that they could have come up with something better. But I guess this is what they needed in order to make their movie. They needed that specific thing to happen. And to me, it was just, oh, we've seen this already. And we knew throughout the movie that it was going to be this. So, yeah, I actually really enjoyed Another Me, and I recommend it. It wasn't as silly, I guess, as it looked on the trailers. The trailers made it look not that great. So, I was going into it with low expectations. I just wanted to see Sophie Turner, and I actually ended up enjoying it a lot. So, yeah, that's it, I guess.